Welcome back to another episode of the Shed Geek Podcast. At the Shed Expo today and hanging out with some cool friends. You guys want to introduce yourself? Maybe some familiar voices, but and some new voices here.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
My name is Stephanie Mabey. I'm the owner of 360 Sheds and Metal Buildings in Amelia Courthouse.
All right. And then we've got an old friend here.
Old friend, Travis. Great to be on the podcast, co-hosting it with you here, Shannon.
Yes, sir.
Love what you're doing with the industry. Travis Beachy from Waco, Texas, owner of Farm and Yard. We're a retailer of sheds, outdoor structures, play sets, carports, chicken coops, greenhouses, anything for the farm and the backyard.
That's awesome, man. And Travis is co-hosting with us today, and just certainly appreciate you sitting in.
Good to be here, man.
You and Stephanie actually communicated previously through like Facebook and like see this is the beauty of like shed sales
Social
people
media.
keeping up with like the rest of the industry. We had a cool time last night. Had some people come out to
Great time.
Mission
Barbecue.
Barbecue and hang out and talk about shed selling.
Yep.
So that was a lot of fun. Stephanie, you have just this like infectious like energy. I absolutely love it. I can tell that I would buy a shed from you all day long. Tell us your story. How'd you get into sheds? Like,
Well, I worked big box retail for many years,
Okay.
management, and I stepped out for a little while and sold sheds for somebody else. It was a long ways away from my home, but I liked it.
Okay.
And I went back to big box retail, and I stood on the front end of a Sam's Club on a Christmas Eve, watching the whole thing just melt down. Long lines, mad members, mad associates. And I was overweight, unhappy, and I went, I don't want to die here. I just don't want to die
Wow.
here. I don't.
That's amazing.
I don't want to die on the floor of a Sam's Club because they'll roll me out of here, and I'll be replaced.
Replace you.
Replace me tomorrow. So I walked up to the manager that evening. Her name was Stephanie, and I said, I'm resigning. She goes, what do you mean? I said, I'm resigning. She said, well, you're a manager. I said, I know I'm a manager, but, well, we don't really resign managers. Managers leave. I said, yeah, is tonight okay? And so
I'm done.
I'll stay
out.
through and help you shut the store down, but I don't want to come back. And that was on December 24th, and then I opened my lot up on January 5th of 2015. I just stepped off the ledge.
nice.
And my husband's like, honey, you get a paycheck. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know, but if I sell just this many buildings, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
We'll be okay.
Yeah.
And really, I think I can do it. I honestly think I can do it. And in that first year, we were the first lot ever to hit $100,000 in sales in Virginia.
Wow.
We were also the first lot to ever hit $1 million in sales in Virginia. We're the first lot to ever to hit $200,000 in sales in Virginia. First lot to ever hit $300,000 in a month
Nice.
in Virginia. And
Let's
the first
go.
lot ever to hit $2 million in Virginia.
That's awesome.
Only lot to hit $2 million in Virginia. But it's not because we're better than anybody else.
Sure.
It's because they love what we do.
Yeah.
We show up.
Yeah.
And really showing up is all it takes. Answer your phone, call people back,
Yeah.
be excited to be there, and that's all it takes.
Yep.
It's not because I'm special, because I'm not. I'm just excited to be there. I like that you came to visit me. I could talk to somebody.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So
It's genuine.
Yeah.
Like
Genuine.
what you're talking about is just being genuine and being present.
Yeah.
I mean, it's half the battle.
yeah, well, and that's why I really don't have any employees. I trust who I work for. So it's me and my husband, and that's it. And it's actually part of the byline too, is that you're buying from me and my husband.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
these two trusted employees. That's it. So
Yeah,
you'll
that's
either get
awesome.
me or my husband. That's it. There's nobody else working here. So.
What do
know.
you feel like? We were talking a little bit before we got on air. What do you feel like? What do you attribute to like most of your success? Like, I mean, like I said, you have this high energy. Like I would have bought a shed from you all day long.
Me too.
Because you were like engaging from the time you came up.
Yeah.
Like just even to the booth, you were like super engaging. What do you kind of feel like is like your reason for success?
My hidden inner power or special power
Okay.
is that energy.
Okay.
It's not, you can't buy it. It's
Yeah.
just
That's right.
I've been able to outwork anybody in any age group ever and anywhere I've ever worked.
Awesome.
That energy and motivation I threw into the company. Started, what do I do now? How do I make this work? I'm on a ledge here. I fell off that ledge. So I started drilling down and started a Facebook page up. Very tentatively started doing a little bit of advertising. I'm thinking, how do I justify $2 a day?
Yeah.
$2 a day.
Yep.
Yeah.
First it was $1, then it was $2. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll have to cut back on something. So just to get and growing that Facebook page, and then I realized, well, why stop at Facebook? I need to do a website. I need to get on Google, and I need to get up there. And then I started learning that how you get better presence on Google and how you get noticed on Google and what matters on Google. And now, about last month, I was sitting at home and I said, well, I wonder what my Google ratings are and what my search terms are now. And the number one search term in my area for sheds is 360 sheds.
That's amazing.
I
That's
saw-
awesome. Good for you on putting that work in.
And it was just to
It's
say,
self-education.
staying up at night going, what do they want? What are they asking me for? Okay, I think we'll do this and we'll play with that. But what are they asking? I don't know. And I'll be yelling at the computer.
Yeah.
You know, like it can answer back. And, you know, my husband's like, what's going on
I
there?
love it.
What's going on in there? I'm like, fighting with the computer. Shut up. You know.
Yeah.
But
Amazing
love it.
concept, giving the people what they want.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and showing up with energy and serving them well.
Yeah, that's
I was curious, for someone that's listening that is thinking about doing what you did, quitting their job. Maybe they are working at a shop right now. Maybe they're a shed hauler. Maybe they are actually on a sales team with another company and they want to go out and do their own thing. They're kind of entrepreneurial. They want to go do that. What would be some advice for that person that's stepping off from a secure, W-2 employment to, trying to find a lot and getting going with their shed
Probably
business?
the hardest thing is finding a lot. And you say location, 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 but I don't have a good location. I simply
Okay.
don't. I'm in the middle of nowhere. That's
Outside of town?
Outside of town.
Okay.
12 miles away from any real population.
Interesting.
And I don't have a turn off from a major highway. You have to turn. They're flying past me at 65 miles an hour. There is no intersection. So location.
Yeah.
What it is showing up,
Yep.
answering your phone, calling people back. These days, it's not a normal thing for people to call you back. Or, if I'm a customer, I will not answer the phone. I'm saying, I'm sorry, I'm letting that go to voicemail. Even if they don't call, I'll call them
Oh,
back.
you're going to get me on a soapbox
Yeah.
really fast
Okay.
here in just a
So
second.
I'll say I'm with the customer, and I'll say even if they don't leave a message, I'm going back through that. And I'm going to get
Missed
my
calls.
missed calls.
Yep, absolutely.
Then I'll say, hi, this is Stephanie calling from 360 Sheds. I was with a customer and I missed your call. Very sorry. How can I help you now? And I get more people thanking me, like, what? You called me back? I'm
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, that's the first, one of the things I wanted to say earlier was sales. I've heard it said it's a transfer of enthusiasm. So like that's why you sell, is because your enthusiasm is very high. You're genuinely concerned about what they're wanting, and it obviously comes through and shows. You're talking about like communication. Prime communication to me is in person, like we're doing. I can see your enthusiasm, your talking, your head shaking. Like I can't see that on the phone, but it's the next best thing. And then text and email, even harder. All still very relevant.
Yep.
Right? All
Yep.
still very relevant. But the reason I would get on a soapbox for it is because we've come to this position to where when we work in customer service, we also make the comment, I shouldn't be readily available to everyone all the time. I totally get that. Just as long as you understand, it's kind of like saying, I have freedom of speech. You have freedom of speech,
You
but
better
you don't
not.
have freedom from the consequences.
That's right.
So whenever you choose not to engage in communication, you're not free of the consequences of them shopping somewhere else or going somewhere else either. I understand you don't want to be a slave to your phone. So I totally get
Yep.
that.
You can set
But
boundaries.
It even says on my voicemail, I will respond to you within this day, with this business day, or within 24 hours. Because it's imperative. If for some reason I missed the call because I was legit busy, I need to respond to that customer.
Right.
It's so imperative.
Yep.
I used to when I first started up. I don't do it anymore because my house is bigger now, of course, because I'm better off. But
Good for you.
Doing well.
Better off. But I used to hear my phone pop or ping from the bedroom. And I'd get up in the middle of the night because somebody asked a question on Facebook. And I'm telling myself, they don't know I'm a woman. Do they think I'm a fat old man in my underpants? But I'm going to answer them because I'm just
Yeah.
gonna, and I'll
Sure.
explain. I'll actually somewhere in there say I'm a woman. I'm not a fat old man in my underpants.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Love it.
I used to worry about that, thinking of if you're responding at 2:00 in the morning, are you some creeper?
Yeah.
Because you could be.
Yeah.
'Cause you could.
Yep, you sure could. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
who knows? Some old hairy guy.
Yep.
But I couldn't help myself. And now I leave the phone about 4 rooms away. and if on the away status, and I will get back to them. But I used to I'd hear it. It would just wake me up, and I'm out there on Facebook in the middle of the night. Now I'm engaged and I can't go back to sleep.
What do you think about like what do you guys think about like the automated responses? How crazy does it drive you whenever you're in shed sales to get is it still available? Do you have more photos?
Yeah.
How do you guys respond? What do you do to qualify a customer if you're selling e-commerce, Facebook or online sales or some website or whatever? What do you guys do? How do you
talk
respond?
about like a Facebook Marketplace posting?
Yeah.
You're replying to that?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
Well, I don't use Marketplace because I really despise it.
Interesting.
For those very reasons. I'll give you 3,000. No, you won't. No, you won't.
Yeah.
No, you won't. I only cut your knees off. No,
Yeah.
we're not going there. I don't want to have this conversation with you. It's too bargain basement looking for me.
Yeah.
And those were ridiculous responses.
Yeah.
So my qualifying question, because of the Facebook reach, is where are you located? They'll ask me where I'm located. Where are you located? Because if you're not in Virginia,
That's right.
I'm not going to deal with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I can, but don't want to.
Yeah.
And so I have to qualify now with what state are you in?
Sure.
And sometimes you can find it out because you can find their
Because
information.
you got 85,000 followers on Facebook, or over 80.
Yeah, over 80.
And there's people from all over the country,
Yeah. I had Siri once tell some customer in Oregon that we were the best place to call for sheds.
That's unbelievable.
And,
unbelievable. I had that
That's
happen
awesome.
with another one of our products, and I literally felt like I was on the moon.
Yeah.
Like
it
I was
a
like,
very
this is
unusual
the best day of my
feeling.
life.
Yeah. Because
Good for you.
When Siri says it, you're like, tell Siri thank
You're
you.
legit. That's right.
That's
amazing.
awesome. That's a huge reach.
It's a huge reach.
So you would say with Marketplace, with those automated responses, those are, that's a negative draw because you can't really qualify that customer. Do you do anything, Travis? Do you do something different to say
I get why Facebook has that there, easy convenience, and you do have to remember when you are on Facebook Marketplace, like Stephanie said, the mindset of the shopper there is the bargain shopper. You are just going to have to sift through some of that stuff. There's gold there. It's a lot of sifting, but there's gold there. And what I just do is so we post something, they say, is this still available? I have a So on iPhone, you can go in, maybe you can do this on Android too, but you can do a shortened text. So you can write out a text and then just shorten it. So when I go in and reply, I do my shortened text, I do like TL, and then it immediately sends back a reply of kind of my automated response. So I don't literally have to type out the response every time. So it speeds it up. So that causes me less friction. But basically my response says, yes, it's still available. Thanks for your interest in our sheds. Are you, like Steffi said, are you in Texas? Are you, can you have access to get a shed into your backyard? Access to get your shed into a backyard fully assembled, or do you need it built on site is another qualifying question that people don't get asked a lot when they're shopping for sheds.
They probably
so
don't.
it kind of sets you up as an expert. And then I also asked, I literally just asked, are you actually in the market for a shed? So I'll ask that as a qualifying question too. So those are a couple of the qualifying questions that I asked. And then I'll see where it goes. Just, literally today there was someone that responded to one of our ads, and what we had to offer was more than what they were looking for, but they thanked me for the service and said they'll keep us in mind for down the road.
Yeah.
Great.
That's I don't do with Facebook. I gave up on.
I
I've had people fighting over repos and showing he was here first. I'm sorry, I said first come first serve on this thing. I'm not in the business of holding a shed.
Sure.
We don't hold sheds.
Your money holds the shed.
Money holds the shed. So I just don't do it. I just stopped doing it. I know it's a good resource, but now I have to do it because of now I qualify. Look at the area code. Where are you calling from? Are you calling from Virginia? Okay. If you're calling from Virginia, then look, let's launch because I'll talk to you.
We can serve you.
Well, I'll serve you. But we still get calls. I mean, Tennessee, Ohio, Florida, Georgia. It's nuts. I mean, and that Facebook too. So they say, I'm interested. What do you do? My answer is, we sell sheds and metal buildings in Virginia. And that usually stops it right there.
Yeah.
Because
move on to the next one.
Yeah. Move on to the
So
next
if you're
one.
Facebook Marketplace, a lot of people that are listening to this right now are using Facebook Marketplace
Sure.
to sell sheds. If you're not using that, you talked about educating yourself on Google AdWords, Google Is that your your actual Facebook page and the pictures and stuff you post on the feed, and the work that you're doing on Google? Are those your two main sources of
Yes.
lead gen?
And actually, word of mouth at this point.
Well, you've been since 2015.
When you've been around a while,
Yeah.
sometimes it's my friend told me to come here and that you guys are great or you're nice or that the prices are good because Old Hickory does have a good value price. We're a value-based shed. I mean, we're not. Ulrich's is a beautiful brand. They're much more expensive, but they're beautiful sheds. And if if you just want a backyard shed, we're the great brand to go to.
Yeah, you're that. Yep.
A well-built backyard shed
Yep.
that's not going to fly.
Yep.
And it's not magic.
Yep.
So, but it's a great shed. And when we're talking about other shed companies, that when this conversation comes up, and it does, and they say just listen, just don't buy sheds from 4 places: Sam's, Costco, Home Depot, or Lowe's. Anywhere else you go buy a shed, and I mean anywhere else there's a shed lot that's in this industry is going to sell you a fine shed. That's the end of the story.
Good for you.
That's the end of the story. I'm not going to knock their sheds. I'm not going to knock their sheds. They're quality buildings.
Yeah.
They're quality buildings. Who you want to do business with, who you like, and where the price stands for you is what you need to decide today or tomorrow.
It's an age-old saying, you can't make your candle burn brighter by snuffing out theirs.
That's right.
There's less light
That's right.
whenever you snuff theirs out. So
100%.
it's a way of trying to figure out how you can coexist and operate together. And again, from the Shed Sales Professionals page, a lot of it we've talked about is like increasing the market. As opposed to trying to take more market share, increasing the market. But that happens through synergy. It happens through haulers and salespeople being able to communicate more effectively.
Right.
Manufacturers and haulers. You know what I mean? Manufacturers and salespeople, even those who service the industry through products and different services. There's really room for everybody, and a lot of people don't even realize that. You can just buy a shed, go down to your local shed lot and buy one and have it delivered.
They don't know. They don't know
That's
how
right.
easy it is.
Yeah.
They
That's
really
right.
don't know how easy it is and how complicated the big box stores make it.
Yeah.
It is. Number one question: do these come with floors? You poor dear. You've been down to Home Depot. Yes,
That's right.
yes, we've got floors.
You've been shopping them plastic sheds.
They come with floors. They come with delivery. They're ready to use when we bring them to you.
The customer does. What I think happens is like you have 4 different companies in the town, and the customer's like, oh, those are all 4 owned by the same company. So if you're not doing something different to brand,
Yep.
A lot of times because we're so biased because we're in the shed industry
Yep.
that we know. So a lot of times you'll notice and you'll know whose sheds they are just by driving by
Yep.
the road. But the customer does not think like that
Nope.
yet. We had that price increase whenever lumber spiked.
Oh yes.
And we had the price increase, and I heard I want to give a shout out to Jason and Stephanie Smith, Backyard World in Campbellsville, Kentucky. I remember going and visiting him about that time, and he had a couple of dealers that worked for him, and great business. They're awesome, selling sheds for 20 plus years. Dude's just awesome. Him and Stephanie. Anyway, enough love,
Nice.
guys. But whenever I went and visited him, he was talking about his salespeople were like, "Gosh, this price increase is going to be really difficult." And he gave the best advice. He said, "Do you think that they had a price increase at all the rest of the shed companies as well, given the supply chain issues?" And his salesperson was like, "Well, yeah, that's true." He's like, "Do you realize that your average shed customer doesn't come in knowing what the price per square foot of a shed would cost, so they wouldn't know how much it went up. They wouldn't understand that a shed that was $4,000 that's now $4,500. You're thinking you can't sell it from
Yes.
$4,000 to $4,500 price increase, but if they leave here and go to the shed lot down the road, they had the same price increase. So it's not like we're going to be 15 or 30% higher.
Yep.
We're going to be 5% off.
Yeah.
And then it's overcoming a price barrier by just being informed in sales. So I felt like it was the best advice to give for anybody. It's like you're caught up on the $500 increase because of the supply chain issue and the increase in lumber, but that's the same thing that every shed lot's dealing
Yeah.
with.
I wish we only saw the $500 increases, though. I really do. We had, as I was telling you earlier, they asked me, well, how much is that shed over there? I'm like, I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
I used to know. I used to know.
You
how
said
much,
it all memorized.
I used to, the sales tax, how much it cost a month,
Yep.
how much, everything down to the penny I knew. And then I go, let's just walk over there and see.
Yeah. Let's go look together.
I just go look together because now that I'm getting older, I can play it on my age.
That's nice. I like
I'm
it.
getting a little dotty.
Yeah.
You can play. Because most of our customers, you probably noticed this. Most customers are not young. Most customers are 40s and over. Not all, but most.
Yeah.
So I feel that's kind of an advantage for me too.
Sure.
Because I'm not a young woman.
Sure.
And my husband's not a young man. So
You're not that old, Stephanie.
well, you get that aura of respect because of age.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and that's
We're going to say 40, 41?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No.
Yeah, 39. She's pushing 39.
We've embarrassed her
No.
now.
no.
Stephanie, I got a question. So, not everybody has your personality. We all have different personalities. We all have different things we're good at. Like, if someone really loves the sales side of the business, wants to be on the sales side of the business,
Right.
but maybe they don't have your infectious personality, or what's some advice that you can give? What are some, can this energy, the smile, the warmth, can that be trained? Can that be taught? Can someone get better at that, or is that just what you're born with?
Everybody has to have their own style. I mean, my husband's nothing like me.
Yeah.
And there'd be no walls in my house if there was another person in the house
Yep.
like me.
Yeah.
So he's laid back, real laid back, and I'm real not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not everybody's cup of tea either.
Yeah.
And if I'm not, maybe he is. And I say that too. I
Yeah.
told you that. I say that maybe I'm not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
But my husband might be your cup
Yeah.
of tea. I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Smart.
But you can't. The best thing to do is know your product. Know your product. Know your service. Know that one of the best things I say to everybody is if you're trying to find somebody to give your money to, and they're not answering the phone or they're not there, what happens when you need them? If you're trying to hunt them down to give them money,
Yeah.
then
They can't answer your questions.
They can't. Then they certainly won't help you when you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So you know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be right here.
Now,
So,
now when you're new, you don't know everything.
All right.
So what do you suggest for that person?
Get out there and just step off the ledge.
Okay.
You're going to, especially if you're a female, you're going to be challenged.
Sure.
You're going to be challenged a lot.
Sure.
By men who feel that they know more about construction than you do.
Yep.
That's only going to happen to me maybe 3 times. And that's the last time you're going to embarrass me that I don't know.
That's right. Yep.
The
That's
I,
awesome.
and I
Good
don't
answer.
know is a question I don't want to answer.
We're going to go study that brochure. We're going to go study these
I'm going to get
sheds.
on my hands and knees and look under that building.
Yep.
We're going to find out the answer to this
That's right.
question.
That's right.
I'm going to read that brochure back to front because my training as a shed salesperson was there's the sheds.
Yeah.
Here's your brochure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was it. That's all I had. Goodbye.
It's not uncommon.
And you get dumped out there and you're going, I remember the first time I went out to my own lot and took inventory. It took me all day. I mean, because I would walk back in and go, wait a minute. Wow, I gotta go figure that out again because I don't even know sure what I've got out there. And, I had to know those things. I had to learn and not make those mistakes because I'd have those men come in and challenge me and say, and I'm like, nope, this is 69 cent, our double top plate, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
The 20 foot long buildings come 12 inch in center. Don't ask me why because I don't know. You just start dazzling them with what you do know about your buildings. And then
You can almost see it in their eyes
Yeah,
when you start doing that. That they know they know that you know what they're talking
and
about.
the respect
You're
comes.
talking- yep,
and
that's
then they're
right.
like, I'm not going to play with her. I'm not going to play with her anymore.
Yep.
Because
She knows.
I'm not going to play
Yeah.
with her anymore. Because
Yeah.
I look like I'm a little high energy. And so these
Mm-hmm.
little old boys come in and they're like, they're going to try to test me. And I said, okay, go ahead. But this isn't going to last very long.
Yeah.
Because I'm over this.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've never had, on a shed sale, I've never had to ask a customer to leave out of disrespect. I
Good.
have on metal building sales.
Okay.
Tell them that I don't know what I'm talking about. And I was like, you know what? Not only do I know what I'm talking about, this is my showroom and my salesperson. I'm my company, and you need to actually leave. You can't do that. Yes, I can. Sometimes you have to fire a customer if they're just going to
Yeah,
be that
set some boundaries.
Yeah, you're going to be disrespectful or say that you don't know what you're talking about when you have when you dream, you must dream in these things. Have you dreamt about sheds?
Oh, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, man.
I mean, just
Yeah.
dreaming about
Yep.
Oh, I had a great idea for a new shed. Ooh.
Yeah.
Dreaming about sheds, and then when I had my nephew come and watch for my vacation time, and we finally found someone who can watch the lot, and I told him that I dream in sheds, that I dream about sheds, and he's like, I called him a few weeks after he left, and he said, Stephanie, it's Stephanie. I said, what? He said, I'm dreaming in sheds.
That's amazing.
I'm dreaming.
He's indoctrinated.
I'm dreaming in sheds. And I'm like, it's great, isn't it? It's awesome to dream in sheds.
People don't understand whenever you're like dedicated on that level. I can't imagine coming in and not wanting to perfect your craft. It really doesn't matter what your craft is.
doesn't matter.
Why would you not want to come in and do a good
whether
job?
you're a hauler or a builder or
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Yep.
Yeah, come in and do the best thing that you can every day to succeed.
Yep.
Every day to make a difference for your customer and for yourself.
Yeah.
Like why not give it all?
Yep.
Why give 80%? Why
Yep.
give 70?
Yep.
Go all out, man. And like it's obvious.
Yep.
Like
Do
that
you
she
work
does.
with your wife too?
So 2016, we started. It was just the two of us.
Yeah.
So we very much like y'all. But she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, was her
Okay.
dream. She loves selling sheds. But 2000, we've been trying to have kids for a long time.
Yeah.
A lot of things weren't working out, and then God gave us a miracle and had her a set of twins in
Nice.
2019.
Nice.
Yeah, into 2019. But she got pregnant. We were pregnant kind of the beginning of 2019 when she
Yeah.
was pregnant, and we saw the pregnancy it looked like it was gonna stick and it was gonna work. She was like, okay, it's time for you to take it over, and I'm gonna get ready for these babies, and that's where my focus is gonna be now. So she completely out of sales now, but she's really good with our accounting.
Right.
Probably a lot like your husband.
Yeah.
She's very even keel,
Yeah.
very level-headed,
Right.
very good with the details. The details absolutely drain my energy.
Yeah.
So she does all of our books, accounting, all from home
Yeah.
while being a stay-at-home mom. So she's probably 15 to 20 hours a week in the
Right.
business, and then the rest she's a stay-at-home mom. And then I still do sales, and we have two other full-time salespeople, Dave and Lori, which are fantastic. So
Right.
that's our team
Are
right
you
now.
open 7 days a week?
No, we off on Sunday,
Yeah.
and then Saturday's a shorter day too, so 9:30 to 3. We could certainly have longer hours. Our Monday to Friday is 9:30 to 5:30.
Right.
So we could go 9 to 6, 9 to 7.
Right.
You know what? When we started our business, I wanted a business that worked with. I wanted a lifestyle too, and I didn't. Now I'll go home and still work,
Right.
but I didn't want to have long office hours.
Right.
And we found that most people aren't out shopping for a shed at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9
No,
o'clock
they're
in the
not. They're
morning.
actually not. They're actually not out there. And I open at 10.
10? Okay,
So
great.
I open at 10, and we shut at 5. I used to do 6.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to make he asked me why I named my company 360 Sheds. I said, look, I wanted to keep it easy.
Okay.
So I keep the hours easy too. Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5, and Sundays, noon to 5. I wanted something people can remember. So
Yeah.
there's no 360 Sheds. These are our hours, because I don't want these odd Saturday or off. The only off
Sure,
day,
that makes
the
sense.
only day that's off is Sunday.
Yep.
And then Sunday's a default day because nobody else is open, really. So we get people from all over Virginia come and buy sheds from us on Sunday because we're the ones that are open Sunday. And then some holidays like New Year's Eve, that's not a holiday. Neither is New Year's Day. I'm coming to work. I'm coming to work.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's.
I love it.
That's dedication.
It's
Yeah.
not a holiday. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Well, I think you have to realize you're in retail
Oh, yeah.
actually. So you're not just in. If you have a physical lot, you're in retail. You're not just in sales. So when is retail open? Retail is open pretty much every holiday.
Yep,
you know.
they do.
Now you own your own business. You get to make your own schedule,
Right.
your own time. If you say I'm not about that, well, that you get to do that. You get to
They
choose
do.
that. You know. So that's the beauty of being an independent lot owner.
Yeah.
You know that you get to decide that. So we're the same way. We only shut down basically on Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day. That's it.
Yeah.
Other than Sunday, we don't do Sunday, but Thanksgiving and Christmas are the only days that we're really
I
closed.
keep threatening I'm going to shut down on Mother's Day because nobody comes out on Mother's Day. As soon as I say something like that, and then we'll have a boom day on a weird day. But I have backed off from when I first started, when I was doing it by myself, and I'm going to work on Christmas Eve till 5 o'clock because why not? People will come in.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't. They're not thinking about a shed on Christmas Eve. You might as well just go home.
Yeah.
It's time to go home.
Yeah.
Christmas Day. Black Friday, I go. It's a full day, but, I know it's going to be me going, ugh. I've been playing with my lips all day because it's boring, but, and then you never know, someone could surprise you.
Yeah.
But, and one thing, have you noticed one thing about shedding? Is there any rhyme or reason to your traffic?
No.
No. They'll come in the rain.
That's right.
They'll come in the snow.
Yeah.
They'll come in the wind.
Nobody will be there, and then 5 o'clock,
Bam!
8 people show up.
Yep,
at
So-
five cars roll up, and it's like,
When I was selling, I used to have this theory that, like, if you want a customer to show up on your lot, first thing you should do is get some food.
clean.
Go for lunch.
Yeah,
Go grab
you
some
go
lunch.
for lunch.
Yep.
Go
Or
to
clean
lunch,
the
and you'll come
office.
back and they'll be there. Yeah, do something productive. Eat, and they're going to show up right as soon as it gets like out of the microwave or like warm. Is whenever they're going to actually pull on the lot.
That's
You're getting
facts.
ready to take the first bite. So that's how you get a customer.
Yeah,
But
that's one of the ways, yes.
To leave the lot for a minute to go do something. I promise you're going to get like 3 customers show up while you've been sitting there the whole day with
we
nothing.
do not leave the lot.
Yeah,
We
well,
don't.
that's good because that's when they show up.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't. We don't leave the lot. And since we are kind of a destination shed lot, and we are a destination shed lot. When people call, I say, listen, you don't have to call before you come. I said, you can if you want to because I understand your trepidation, but you would make the trip. We will be here.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
We used to have this saying, and it worked for us. I mean, I don't know. When I sold sheds, I put something out that said this worked for us, and everybody was like, no, Wednesdays are horrible for us. But there was this saying, rainy days and Wednesdays. So the theory behind it was rainy days because you're thinking, oh, it's a rainy day, nobody's going to show up. But there's a lot of people shut down work
Yeah.
on rainy days.
Yeah.
It shuts down their work, so they don't have anything to do. So they have a little free time to come by and shop construction jobs or something like that. So rainy days seem to be just like one of those things. Wednesdays, because it was past the was hump day, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like once you hit noon on Wednesday, you're on the other side of the hump, and now
Yeah.
you're heading toward the weekend.
Well, and in the South, as Travis has probably learned, and smaller areas in the South, not in the North, but in the South, Wednesdays used to be a closed business day. It was a closed business day. Wednesdays and Sundays were closed business days. It's not that way anymore in the South, but some businesses still do it in some of the smaller towns. It's a normal closing day.
Yeah.
But Mondays and rainy days are my days. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, Mondays can make you rethink your career.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's Mondays like I'm so tired. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Because the phone doesn't stop ringing, and the traffic does. And when you're handling it alone, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
We're
I think that could lead into a future episode or something at some point about burnout.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because, Monday morning is the worst day for people to show up whenever they're like nervous or unsatisfied in their career.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mondays is the highest, I hate to be so low negative, but it's the highest day of like suicides.
Oh my.
You know what I mean? Because
Okay.
everybody's had fun over the weekend, and
Yeah.
then boom, Monday morning comes, and it's like, oh, I got to face reality. I got all these, and I think people could benefit more from, finding it with Simon Sinek book, Find Your Why. Find
Yeah.
out why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
That way
Yeah.
you're not regretting or dreading going in on a Monday.
Yeah.
With shed salespeople, I've always said they're in a fishbowl looking out.
Yeah.
A lot of times they don't have a whole lot of support, so that was part of why, the dinner last night and things like
Yeah.
that. What do you guys, if you look back, what advice would you give, and what would you want to see in some type of like sales training? If you could look back and say, if a new business owner was coming up with a lot, what were the things that would have tremendously helped me? I wish I knew then.
No, your education on the product, but also since you're an independent business person, if you are a dealer, it would be nice if you had support on how to do the social media and how not to have to tangle through the whole thing
Okay.
and fight with your computer at 3:00 in the morning because asking it what it wants and what do you need from me?
Yeah.
Stupid machine.
Yeah.
What do you need from me? I don't
I've
know.
done that.
what do you mean, my password? So yeah, and then I'm not trying, and trust me, I'm not trying to, I really am not.
No,
because
you're
of
fine.
When the
It sounds very genuine.
when Old Hickory started seeing the success on my lot, they wanted to know what was going on. Why?
Never seen it before.
Never seen it
Yeah.
before like that. Not that kind of rapid growth. Not that kind of just boom, zero to a 100 in a minute. What was I doing differently than other places? And now they start putting all the things that I do in newsletters and on the websites and what dealers need to do to increase their presence. But that wasn't there when I started.
Yeah.
And they are doing better, but there also was no education about
Yeah.
these buildings. I mean, what am I looking at?
I think
You
it
know?
was it's way better now, but man, manufacturers were just not the dog on them, but it was the worst. Like 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, literally drop sheds off
Yeah.
and say, "Here you go,
There you
figure
go.
it out." You
Here-
know, I
here's
think
your
it's
brochure.
really improved. I
Yeah.
think a lot of them have figured out that doesn't work anymore, and there is actual some training now,
Yeah.
and that it's not just throwing some brochures on your desk and telling you to figure out. So I'm glad to see that improve.
I mean, it is improving, but I'm also glad that I had the trial and error education that
Yep.
came with
Battle scars.
fighting through
Yeah.
it. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
I'm on my own here. What do I do? I can't fail, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So without that education, without that determination, if someone sat down and taught it to me, would have learned as well? Would it have been so ingrained?
Yeah.
That this is what has to. So I'm glad for the education that I taught myself.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I was sitting in a classroom I would have got it.
Yeah.
But I certainly got it when I
Yeah,
stepped off
you
that
had
ledge.
to. Your back was against the wall.
Yeah.
It's good to have that real life experience. What is the old saying, like men who have good times, to make weak men. I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
butcher
I know
that.
what
You know
you're
what I'm
talking-
saying?
yeah,
Like
yep,
and weak, like hard times make strong men.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Strong men make easy times. Easy
Yeah.
times make
Yeah,
weak
I've
men,
read
and
that.
Yeah, that
weak
whole
men make
cycle.
strong
Yeah.
men.
I've
So
seen that one.
that-
Yeah.
that whole cycle is it's really good. You know that if you grow up and you do well, you don't want to spoil your children too
Right.
much, right? Because you want them to have a little bit of grit. You want them to understand for themselves how to go out and fight and make it and do it. That's I give my dad credit for that.
Yeah, my mom too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean him and my mom were like, "You're gonna work. This is just what's gonna happen. You're gonna work.
You're going to
Yeah.
work and all your life.
I've said it before, and I reminded my dad of it recently. I said, when I was, young, I remember you used to, if you thought we were slacking, he'd make us go dig a hole in the backyard and then bury it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
work,
there's nothing to understand from
Yeah.
this. There's nothing to take away. This is not productive, And he was like, he made it clear you're gonna work. You're not gonna be lazy.
Yeah.
I think that kind of work ethic shows up in sales. I think it shows up in anything that
Yeah.
you do. They say like the top 5% of salespeople in most industries equal the other 95%. I don't know how you get there. I don't
Yeah.
know what you do, but I think some of it is: are you born a good salesperson? Do you develop the
I think
battle-tested
everybody's
scars?
born a good salesperson.
You sell yourself every day, right?
You-
I mean,
well, you got to get up and put your pants on and make a presence, whether you're going to Walmart or whether you're going to a shed lot.
That's right.
You're putting on an act that is not you. It can be a lot like you, but it's not you. It's a show every time you step out your door, and you got to be somebody different. So everybody's selling every minute of the day.
Yeah. Whether you're in the profession or not.
So we see the glamour queens on Instagram, and they make
Yep.
all these
Yep.
these videos. Well, they're doing the same thing. They're selling something entirely different, but they're selling themselves.
yeah.
So I think there's no excuse for not being a good salesperson, because we're all salespeople. Every time we step out the door, every time we put our pants on, our shoes on, we're selling ourselves. And one time I was interviewing for a job, and they asked me, "What do you think that is the difference between you and some others?" I said, "Well, I fake it till I make it." And they said, "What do you mean by that?" I said, I might have problems at home, or I might not feel well. I said, but I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to put my pants on, I'm going to go to work, and I'm going to put a smile on my face, and it may be fake. It's probably fake. But somebody's going to walk in my life in the next 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and they're going to make that smile real.
Yeah.
Very real.
Yeah.
And I won't have to fake that smile anymore, and I'll
Yeah.
be happy to be where I'm at, because somebody just stepped in my life for a second with a customer or another associate, and they made my day.
Yep.
Now the smile's real, and I can continue with my day, and I'm not faking it anymore. I'm making it. And I don't think I think I lost the job. I didn't get the job. So I don't.
Maybe not the best advice.
I didn't get the job. I thought
I'll
it was,
tell you about my job interview was they said, well, what do you think is your biggest weakness? And I said, well, I'm very honest, and I think I'm honest to probably a flaw. So I would say I'm probably too honest. And they said, well, we don't really see honesty as a problem. And I said, well, I really don't care what you think. So.
That's great. That's great.
I didn't get the job either. I thought it was clever. But
Got to be careful
Yeah.
sometimes when you get a lot of personality.
Yeah.
There's when you have an abundance of it, you have to rope it in sometimes.
well, you
Yeah.
said it best earlier. Maybe I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and some days you just have to be okay with that. Dave Miller had put me onto a book. I think it was like You Don't Know Jack. I think it was Jack Daly, and he talked about like the I don't know. I think it was Southeast or whatever airlines or Southwest Airlines that had the customer that just complained and like talked about all this stuff that was fairly unreasonable in terms of complaints.
Right.
And the CEO wrote him a letter and said, terrible loss, and we hate that we're going to lose you as a customer,
Yeah.
but we hope you have a good day and continue on. They're firing a customer. At some point,
Yeah.
you have to say, I've done all I can
Right.
to suffice.
Yeah.
I've done all I can to satisfy these people, this industry, or this company. I must move on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's important. Where do you guys think it's going? Where do you guys think the shed industry is going? Just to, wrap up some final details and
I'd
some
like to hear what
thoughts.
you think because I don't know.
Go first. You're the guest.
Well, I honestly don't know. I think the upcoming economy is going to make some hard decisions for all of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I think we are heading into a negative economy. Not that this is going to affect you and I, because showing up is 99% of the game. But I think some of our smaller shed lots might be swallowed up by the economy. Those who don't put the time and effort into it might be. So you and I will we'll survive.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. And it's about, again, the showing up and being there. We're going to have to see after this is the first time I've done this and when we're heading into a recession. And it really looks as though
Yep.
we are.
Yep. Me too.
I wish I could say something different, and that's not the case. But we're going to.
What's reality?
I'm going to have to say that we'll have to watch those mom and pop weekend sales lots and see what happens to them.
Yeah.
Right now, I kind of think there's a little bit too much. We're a little overloaded right now. Everybody kind of jumped into the shed business, and that's okay. But I think that we're going to find out who's here to stay after the next few years. And that's, I've set myself up financially, and I mean, if I don't sell a shed in a month, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to close down because 1 month went bad.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what the economy brings to us. I'm a little worried that we are a little overloaded, that there's a lot of shed lots everywhere.
Yeah.
And we'll see who makes the grade and who doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some hard times ahead, I think.
I think
but
so, too.
I think if you're listening to this and you've been doing the right things the last 3, 4, 5 years, you've been marketing, you've been showing up, you've been doing all the right things, I think you can go into this season with some confidence and some peace. If you have not, or you've not taken your business seriously, you're just there 1 or 2 days a week.
Yep.
I think those are the businesses that are going to be in trouble, going to be very challenging for them to navigate. But if you've been building a brand, building a following base, a following base on social media, if you've been doing the right things, doing the right business, I think you're going to be okay through this period.
I think so too.
But it does, I've even noticed in our business, I mean, even for me as what I call a seasoned seller, it makes you go back to the basics. You got to, the things that you got sloppy with the last 2 years when you were literally just writing up orders, you have to go back to the basics again of shed sales 101 and following up and giving those compliments to customers, genuine compliments when they walk on the lot, taking interest in them, not expecting them to close that day necessarily.
I never expect that.
Be okay with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quotes, whatever it's going to take. Hold their hand through the whole process, overserve them, and have that patience. Play the long game. Realize that you're going to be here for the next 20 years.
I like that. I knew we had stuff in common.
Yep.
I knew we had stuff in common because one of the things I say to our customers is that, or prospective customers, because there's a point when I say this, they're not a customer yet, is that there is no stupid questions when it comes to your shed.
Yeah.
You are not bothering me to call me.
Yeah.
Call me. If you get 40 minutes down the road and you go, what did she say?
Yeah.
call me.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
you're not a nuisance. There's
Yeah.
no stupid questions. Just
Yeah.
pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Communication.
That's our job.
Because we'll have customers go, I'm sorry to no, you're not bothering me. You're
Yeah.
not. You're not bothering. I was looking for your call. Come on, you're making me happy. I'm talking
Yeah.
to somebody. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to watch. I'll just tear your ear off. But
Yeah.
you know, I mean, but
I love it. I love the energy.
Yeah.
I promise you, I've
Yep.
100% over would have bought a shed from you, like
Yep.
time and time again. I promise you, I would have been your customer. Love what you guys are doing. Certainly appreciate it, Travis, for being co-host
to be
with
here.
me here today. Just a shout out to the Shed Builder Expo guys.
Great
please
event.
come out. Yeah, definitely make these events. More numbers, more vendors. You know what I mean? It's like it's really cool.
Come next year. Come next year if you're in sales. Come. It's fun to
Absolutely.
meet people.
Yeah.
This is definitely
Where's
geared
it at
towards
next year?
manufacturing and the manufacturing side of the business. But it's still a good time. There's good stuff here.
Are you a dealer?
Yeah, we're strictly a retailer.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not a manufacturer at all.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've come to the last. This is my third one. I've enjoyed every one. It's you start to know more people,
Right.
network, see new things,
Right.
and I encourage any. I don't like to call dealers just dealers. We're more than that.
Yeah.
We are business. We're putting ourselves out there. So I don't say you're just a dealer,
Right.
but
Or I'm just in sales,
or I'm just
or,
in sales.
you know.
No, man, you're doing an important work to this industry.
Yeah.
But come, man, it's a great time.
By the way, I always want to tell you I love the name of your company.
Thank you so much.
I do.
It's very
And
kind.
Very very easy to remember, and very fitting.
I appreciate that. Farm
no.
Yard. I appreciate that.
And it's just original. No, there's not a lot out there using that, and I've always loved the name of your company. That's what stood out for me.
Okay.
That's why
On
we
social?
became your friends.
Yeah.
So,
I wish I
Very
could
cool.
give like 100 shout outs. I can't. One, I didn't take all the notes. Two, I was talking to so many people. Three, I missed so many people at my booth this year. And if I missed you, I didn't intend to. Certainly appreciate y'all coming by. Jeremy Boss, PMP Buildings, wanted to give a shout out to him. That was one of the notes I took down. Nelson Buildings
Jeremy.
in Florida. Appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm working them for a hat. I'll have some. It's ridiculous. I've got like over 50 hats in the shed industry at this point.
A collector.
I love it. Yeah, I love to give shout outs on stuff like that. It's just when I say I'm a shed geek, I legit have binders of like shed like brochures
Yeah.
from places that I've been to across the United States in alphabetical and like in my. Like,
There you go.
Come see it. I
Let's
promise
go.
you, it's ridiculous. I know I have a problem.
you might have a problem.
Well, like I got a frisbee from you.
You did get
so-
a frisbee. So
It's fun.
I'm gonna give one to Travis too because
I like
you
it.
go.
we're
Let's go.
friends. So,
Let's do it.
yeah.
There you go. But I wanted to give a shout out to so many other people. Appreciate you guys listening constantly. It is events like this that whenever I get a chance to meet you guys face to face and talk to you as a whole, humbles me and my family. Genuinely appreciates that you give me the opportunity to continue to do this. Just keep watching. Check out. Please go subscribe to the Shed Geek YouTube channel. Check us out on Facebook. Send me a personal Facebook friend request. I'd love to be your friend. Send me a hat if you want to.
Absolutely. Shout out Shed Geek Podcast, man. #1 podcast in the shed industry, man.
Bro,
keep
I'll tell
listening.
you what, man, I appreciate it. I've told this to no less than 10 people. If anybody wants to hire me at $1 million a year and tell me to go do whatever I want, I'm going to be doing a podcast
There you go.
over the shed industry. It really doesn't matter. It's at this point, it's in my blood. It's what I want to do. I love these conversations. It was, the equipment was bought when there wasn't a dollar made on it. So the fact that I could continue to monetize and feed my family and my hopes
Beautiful.
and dreams, dude, I'm
You're
God
living the
has
dream.
blessed me. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm really
'Cause
happy for
I've
you.
never found like a career that I enjoyed so
Yeah.
much. I mean, I talk anyway. It's kind of cool to get paid
Yeah.
to do it.
Get on, just get on the air and have conversations.
Yeah.
Well, you're so genuine about it, Shannon, and that's what people like. I think
Yeah.
they can see your heart and the genuineness in it, and that's what people like.
Keep God first, man,
go.
and the rest follows.
Let's go.
That's all it is. So appreciate you guys
It was
being
good
on
to,
today.
It was good to meet you. I mean,
Yeah,
I was
for
looking
sure.
forward to it. I was just wandering the show trying to find your booth. Because
Well,
I know he's here somewhere. I just know it.
It means so much. Certainly appreciate the it's keep humility at the front, forefront of everything. It was like I told who was I talking to in the last episode? You know, I'm the most humble guy I know. You know, so just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I like I
like there's
like,
no one more humble than me, Travis. Like I've really started looking through
right.
people, but I'm probably the most.
You're the only one you found. Yeah. But it's that perfect combination of knowing that there's nobody else on earth like you. Literally, nobody else. God didn't create anybody else exactly like you. Like you're very special, but in the same breath, knowing you can be replaced tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, like you're the best, and you can be replaced tomorrow. You know.
There's a I've said this before too, maybe even on here. There's a book by Philip Yancey called "Prayers Doesn't Make Any Difference," and there was a pastor named Haddon Robinson who, before he would get on stage to speak in front of people, he would always say the same thing. He would say, "God, please, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak in front of all these people." Because if they knew about me, what you knew about me, they wouldn't listen to a thing I'm about to say.
Yeah.
So thank you for your grace and your mercy. So
Amen
we're
to
all
that.
imperfect people. And,
Amen to that.
Yeah. Hey, you want to pray us out?
Good stuff. Let's do it.
All
Yeah,
right.
thanks for this opportunity to be here with Stephanie, and thanks for all that Shannon's doing for the industry. Pray that you continue to bless Stephanie with 360 Sheds, her and her husband. Thanks for all the good that they're putting out in the industry. Pray that you'd watch over the haulers, the builders this week. Pray that everyone that was here at the expo took something home that can increase their business and grow their business. Pray that you continue to bless the industry. Thanks for the opportunity to be in this industry, and watch over us. Thank you so much for all the good that you bring into our life, and even the hard times that you bring into our life that make us better. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Appreciate you guys.
It was so much